Hey there, Schwermetallisch Reviews here again. I'm quite busy this week. Now on to an interview with Daniele Lupidi of the band Hateful. That's technical death metal from Italy, and yeah, we had a lot of fun talking with each other. He's a funny guy, a nice guy, and yeah, of course, we talked about Corona, about the music, about life itself, like yeah, with anyone I'm interviewing. And yeah, watch it, have fun, and get to know the band Hateful. Okay, and welcome Daniele from Hateful.
I
Hi, I hope your morning has been quite beautiful until now because I have questions.
I'm prepared. It was not too stressful as a morning, so I hope to be able to reply all the questions in a proper way.
Ah, never mind. We will not start with rocket science.
Yeah, okay.
Promise, because that's not my job too.
Cool,
My
cool.
questions would be not good. Yeah. Okay. So you play in Hateful, brutal death metal band, and you have been active since 1997.
Yeah, yeah,
That's quite a long time for a death metal band, and
yeah,
you have three full-length albums out.
yeah.
One came out just 2 months ago, roughly.
September 25th, yes. Yeah, not many records, to be honest, for more than 20 years of activity, but you know, uh, now we are much more ready to release albums in a decent amount of time, you know, compared to the past. We have been a lot of problems with lineups in the past. We took time to adjust our style before the first album in 2010. So it was like many years of practicing, improving, changing members, finding the right balance between. You said brutal death metal. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's technical, I know.
no,
I
no.
just
I hate labels for our music, but of course one have to describe it somehow. So there is a bit of everything we like, basically. So from you know technical death metal because we grew up with the early 90s type of technical death metal, you know, the bands like Monstrosity, Suffocation, not much modern stuff, honestly. Also Brutal Death because, of course, these bands and also mid 2000s Brutal Death Metal was definitely an influence on us. And but there is a lot more classic death metal from Europe, uh, like Pestilence or bands like early at the Gates, bands with maybe more melody, you know, sometimes. And also, you know, we also like a lot of music from the 70s, progressive rock, stuff like that. So I think that a lot of the progressive vibe come from the past than more than current the current music, you know, because now progressive music means a lot of hyper technical stuff, and this is not we are interested in. Basically, we are more like interested in doing the best songs possible, and you know, we are full of ideas, so it happens that the songs have a lot of ideas into the structure. So this is basically our sound, but of course this description is very vague. You have to listen to the stuff to understand, of course.
You mentioned that you're around for over 20 years and only have three outputs, full length outputs,
Yeah.
and I must say I'm reviewing all kinds of stuff. New wave of British heavy metal bands that are around since 79,
Yeah.
and didn't manage to bring out one full length because it was like we were touring, then we were fucked over by managers, then we split ways, then
Yeah.
we came back in the 90s, played a few gigs, lost a few members, someone died, something exploded, alien
Yeah.
invasion, I don't know. So it's that is not a problem to have three. It's a
Records.
problem if you're around like 40 years and you have one.
Yeah, of course.
That is and if you are adjusting your sound
Yeah.
and then lose a member because he leaves for whatever reasons, you have to adjust your sound anew if you have a new member. Then so
Yeah.
that's the most understandable part of not recording an album is okay. We lost a singer, a vocalist, and that's in many parts of metal that's a central part of music.
Yeah, definitely.
So everything falls apart.
Yeah,
So,
In the classic metal and melodic metal, the singer is definitely the most important member, probably. Eh, as you said it, a lot of bands take a lot of time to release records. We grew up with 80s and 90s bands when the scene was very alive and bands released stuff on in one album each year or one album each 2 years, and that was really cool for me because you don't have to take 10 years to make an album, in my opinion. So I understand those who say that 7 years for the last record was a lot of time and somehow criticized it. But there were a lot of problems, and I think that these problems are behind us. And you have to consider that we released 3 full lengths in 10 years, in the last 10 years of the band activities. Basically, the first 13 years were adjustments. So it's things will change. Apart from the fact that now we are in a bad situation due to the virus, and of course this is slowing down not the creative process, but the promotional process for this new record, probably, because we can play live, we can bring the material on stage, we have to try different things. Maybe we'll see what I don't want to sit on my couch and wait for the event. We have to take some decision, maybe record something, videos, or in a safe environment, of course. But we have to, there are so many bands out there, and if you stay silent for years, this doesn't help your name, of course. But I will never take any decision just to be visible. It's everything has to be connected with our music, connected with we have to take our time to do something good, so we are not obsessed by being by the presence.
yeah, I think most fans forget the fact that for a musician there is a life
Yeah,
aside from the stage, aside from the rehearsals, and aside from music,
yeah,
you have your daily job, you have your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, your kids, um, and yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty important to stay sane, and you can't just make music all day long. It's and yeah, I grew into understanding that while working a lot with music. So I'm one of the people that fully understand that.
yeah,
But I think many fans are just like, we need new music. Where's new music? What's up there? Why did it take so long? And yeah, they have to grow into it, or they have to grow up, and in the meantime, fuck them. So, but on to our very first question.
yeah.
What brought you into death metal?
It was I think it was around 1992 or 1993, uh, with new friends at school, bringing some recorded tapes, stuff like that, and of course during that era, I was I already knew a lot of more classic stuff like Judas Priest, Black Sabbath. My father had some Led Zeppelin albums at home, so I started to be very attracted by rock and metal. Then when I went to, I don't know the exact name in English, secondary school. I don't remember the name in
That's
English of the
that's
school.
more close to the German term than the American term, so I don't care because I understand it.
Okay, so stuff like that. I was around 12 or 13 years old, so someone brought some death metal at school, and I think the first death metal record that really captured me completely was "Blessed Are the Sick" from Morbid Angel, and I already heard a few quite extreme records, like first Megadeth album, like Testament, like Slayer, stuff that I really appreciated at the time. But when I heard the Blessed Are the Sick album, I was like, wow, this is something totally different. I don't know what to think about it, and I was so fascinated by the dark elements, by the cover, by the incisions image inside, the satanic, quite satanic argument, not topics inside the album, and I was, wow, this is I cannot believe someone that does music like that, and it was like, wow. Then someone let me hear D-side, Legion, and it was like, these guys are completely crazy. Also Carcass, first records, especially Symphonies of Sickness. I'm a second album fan. I grew up with the second album of each band. In my opinion, they are the best albums. And then I started to be a fan of death metal more than the other, music. And I also appreciate classic metal, new wave of British heavy metal a lot. Also, few early metal records from Germany also, like Rage, like early Blind Guardian, stuff like that. When I was younger, was Halloween first records were also my cup of tea at the time, but death metal was definitely my favorite kind of music. And I didn't my taste didn't change during the years, honestly, because There was a lot of records, a lot of bands to discover during that years, and I still believe that this was the golden era of extreme music. Early '90s, everything was almost perfect. Also, the not the most famous band were releasing killer albums, and I'm still very loyal to these records. But all, of course, I grew up with other stuff later, So musically speaking, and try to mix everything from the early records of the genre, also trying to look to other kind of music and also newer stuff, even if the newer stuff, in my opinion, is a little bit more boring than the early '90s stuff. But there are still some killer acts, of course, out there. I'm not here to say that only old records are good.
I know that I grew to hate pop music in the 90s
Yeah,
because it was a Euro dance floor and everyone was jumping around boy bands and
yeah, of course.
a good friend of mine introduced me to bands like Savatage
Wow.
and I don't think I ever heard Kiss before. He had Kiss records and Savatage, and we listened to a lot of Metallica,
Yeah.
even the newer ones,
Famous.
because we just had to listen constantly to rock and metal. It was we were playing on the Super Nintendo, and we were listening to metal all the time. That was a great time.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
pop music was shitty. Oh
I
man.
think that the first stuff you really appreciate is the ones that mark your life somehow. You can evolve. You can search something new. Try to listen to other stuff, but the first impact is the stronger, in my opinion. So if you like Savatage as a first band, for example, they will remain the band of your life, or one of the bands of your life, of course. Just like me with Iron Maiden, for example, didn't mention before, but I was like, wow, first time I heard them,
Yeah,
and
the first main band my father introduced to my brother and me was Queen.
Queen. Okay.
Queen. And that is yeah, we are really big Queen fans ever since, and that's won't change ever.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And I think also that if you miss these bands when you are a kid, maybe you will never be a fan of them when you are older. There are some bands that you need to know when you are a kid. Like Iron Maiden, for example. I know a lot of people that are not fan of Iron Maiden, but I was like, if you missed them when you were 13, 14, 15, then you probably will never be a fan, because also Metallica, same thing, because if you listen to these records with other things in your ears, you maybe can find them very you know simple somehow, or you know
Too
you have
soft.
to soft, or easy listening, or metal at the time was really, in my opinion, was more powerful, more aggressive, distorted guitars, high pitched vocals, but the song structures were really, really still rock, So there was a refrain, there was a bridge, there was a verse, there was, a kind of normal song structure, not very different from rock music, pop music, and stuff like that. If you listen to Black Sabbath, same, Judas Priest, same. They are more aggressive, of course. After that, things changed a bit, especially in the extreme music, you know. Things became more complicated, more technical, more articulated, you know. But prog rock in the 70s was, you know, very rich and complicated, but heavy metal, classic metal is still very, you know, connected to rock and pop music, in my opinion.
I think the best melodies are often quite simple.
Yeah.
Another question: how did Corona influence your year as a musician at the moment?
Yeah. Yeah, the moment it influenced us not only as musician, of course, every aspect of your life has changed. As a musician, it has during the first lockdown, when everything was closed during the first months, you know, we decided to, you know, work hard on the music because there was nothing else to do at home. Basically, you could not work, you could do nothing. So for the first time it was like, wow, I'm a professional musician now and there is only music to take care of. And we played a lot, we arranged a lot of new stuff, you know, so, and also, you know, gave birth to a new side project. You know, there was a lot of free time to take care of the things. And after that, when things were a little bit more normal, the problem, you know, started to surface music-wise because the album was probably delayed, the official release. You know, it was supposed to come out earlier than September because we finished it in 2019 during the summer of 2019 and sent the stuff to the label, but coronavirus, you know, slowed things process. After that, no gigs. The last gig for we played was in December or November 2019. And of course, we have to think about doing something else to promote the record, you know, being more active on social and record videos, play through, things like that. Because usually we will always release a record and started to search gigs, dates, events to play in or at, and at this moment there is nothing on the table, of course. So it affected the band this way. We could concentrate more on the composition in the very early months of the lockdown. And now we are thinking about something alternative to, you know, to promote this record because the record just came out and needs to be listened to a few guys, you know, the most guys we can, of course. So we are trying to understand what we can do to promote the record. I believe in this record a lot because I think it's our finest album, and also we did things in a more professional way this time, and it deserves it's a good exposure, of course. It affected the band now, but I don't know how much it will affect the band in 2021 because 2021 is still completely black, you know. So we'll see, of course.
A fucking mystery.
Yeah, fucking mystery, definitely.
So if the coronavirus finally disappears or most people are immune,
yeah,
alien invasion, I don't know. if you could choose a band to tour with you, to accompany you on tour, what band would that be?
Wow, good question. Accompany us would mean that we will be the main band, but I think we have to tour with a bigger band and support them. That will be much more because we are still very small as a band, so we have to. In my opinion, we would have to play with someone bigger. We did it in the past with Vomitore. We did a mini tour in Italy. It was a great experience, and of course all the festivals we played in. But it's a good question. I think that we should play with a band that could attract people interested in our kind of musical mix. So, for example, a band like Blood Incantation could be. They are pretty famous, and they are also, they are that progressive vibe that could please fans. They are also an old school fashion band. So, first name came to my mind. It's Blood Incantation, but then of course there are many other bands. We grew up with bands like Immolation, Suffocation, Morbid Age. That will be a dream, of course. These bands are even bigger. But every band that has a kind of affinity with our proposal, so that people that come to see the bigger band could also appreciate the support act. But we'll see. I think we will try to in the future. Nobody knows when, but we will try to do some short stints of tour with friends. Maybe we did with Unbirth, with Logic of Denial, with Ad Nauseam in the past. Italian bands we are friends with. We can do something like that, but also try to play with bigger acts in order to attract people that never heard our name and could be pleased by our music, So honestly, I don't know, but first names that came to my mind are these ones.
Blood Incantation. The first thought is always.
Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I appreciate them a lot. I saw them live in Finland too, and I like them.
So, last question for today.
Okay.
What is your favorite metal band?
Another very difficult question. If I speak with the heart, it's probably Iron Maiden. And if I speak with the mind, the brain, composition-wise, the band that I envied more in terms of composition, because it's closer to our sound, is probably Suffocation. The way they write the music is something that I always, it's incredible how they can merge technicality, catchiness, musicianship, all these elements combined together in something more similar to our music, So
my thoughts with tours are always: is it best for any band to have a lineup that is alike, or is a diverse lineup better, so you attract more different kinds of fans? And I think if you are a big band, like, I don't know, Megadeth or stuff like that, it's totally cool to tour with I don't know, Hateful and Blood Incantation,
Yeah,
because there will be new fans for Megadeth.
yeah,
They can only
why
win.
not? Yeah, we win. That's
But if you as a band not so big as Megadeth tour in a diverse lineup, it means there will be hardcore fans of some of the bands. Maybe they will ruin your set because they are elitists, and
yeah,
elitists almost always are big assholes that try to ruin the set of the supporting bands.
one bands, yeah.
So I think the more mainstream the stuff becomes, the more harmless and the more friendly the stuff will come out at the end. So that would be a setting for a small band that could work very well. If you have a band that doesn't fit your musical style but is very big,
Yeah,
it's in the lineup, and you tour with them, some of the kids that go to a Megadeth gig will say, "What's that? Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty tough, and that's cool." And to be honest, the cover of your recent output is killer.
Yeah, of course, because also a small percentage of the people attending the show will be super cool. If there are 1,000 persons in the room and only 10% of the people like our music, then it's already a huge success for a small band, you know. 100% each night your music, that will be great.
And that's like I would love to yeah, I don't know if it's true to reality, but you know, it's like with the virus, with Corona. It's like I'm on a gig, and I think there's a band I really like, and during that gig I will take out my cell phone and write to some of my friends, check out this band. So after this night, this band has me as a fan, and I was a kind of super spreader.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know, I post about it on my Facebook page, I post about it on my reviews page, on my Instagram page, on Twitter, because that night was so magical, and I'm totally on adrenaline still, and I have to tell anyone how fantastic that evening was. So maybe there will be 10, 15, 20 people that will check out this band. Half of that will say they're great and tell other people. And it's
yeah,
yeah, that's how it works. That's the only good thing with social media.
yeah. It's good for because of the social media, but it's also, you know, you mentioned the power of the live situation, you know, because it's a totally different experience compared to a YouTube video appears on your Facebook page, you know. It's much more powerful. So people, you know, become more connected to your music, and then maybe they are also um, almost forced to tell the other guys via social maybe that oh wow, they were killer on stage, the show was good, wow, they it's different. That's why it's very hard to promote a record without live shows. For
Yes.
me, as a band, we are not influencers or social media guys. So our work should be going on stage and playing, not you know, writing all the fucking day on the social media or inventing the photos with the cats or the bird to attract people. You know, that's a sad situation, but I'm totally uh, I want to stay safe, of course. I don't want to take risk with this situation. So we totally accept the measures, the lockdowns, and things like that. The sad thing is we have to become social media influencers. That's not our role. But if you want to make your music more visible, you have to do that. As I told you, we are not obsessed by that. We play because we like to play this music. Our band is not something. We never followed any trend. We never followed any current. We play this kind of mixture since 2010. Never changed too much, apart from the fact we evolved into something better, in my opinion. But we are still something that people find quite hard to describe, you know. So there was, you know, an old school, you know, trend back in the days. Then there was a black metal trend. There was hyper technical stuff trend. We never followed any of them. We just do what we want, and that's it. So we are not a band that wants to be successful at any cost. We want to bring our music to as much people as we can, of course. That's it.
Yeah, maybe this helps. You are on camera, and of course this will go live in a few days. So Friday on at 5 p.m.
Okay, Friday 5 p.m. Okay.
This will go live, and I will share it, of course.
Cool.
So,
we will share it as well.
I will have to listen to a bit of Hateful, and I will give you feedback.
Cool.
And,
take your time. You know, it's not easy music, so. But there is a lot of melody here and there. You know, it's not like only bombardment of brutality. There is a lot of stuff going on, so you may appreciate some arrangements, some melodic moments. You know, I think it takes more time than other bands, maybe, but hope you like it.
Yeah, I will check it out definitely, and I think I will share a bit of it on my pages, because you're not an influencer, but I'm kind of an influencer. A very small one, but I think I can help a bit. So
Cool. Thank you very much.
that's my job. That's what I'm doing in my free time.
Cool, very cool, and very helpful for the underground bands and the metal scene in general. You know, it's always cool to have people that you know, brings this music. You know, share the music, have an opinion on the music. You know, create a bit of discussion, and that's cool, because the musician itself can only be, you know, promoter of himself. You know, it's not completely, you know, people believe more in someone outside of the band than on yourself, that try to say, oh, my music is good, my music is fine, and things like that. So it's cool. It's a good job. Good work that you do.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for taking the time for the interview, and spilling the beans about your music and how living is, where you live at the moment, and Corona, of course. And I got no more ammunition, no more questions left.
Okay.
So thank you for being here, and have a nice Sunday.
Thank you. Have a nice Sunday too.
I will eat breakfast now.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Time is right for us too.
Okay. Thanks very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.